Hi, I have a big spot there and on my nose. Hi, hello. Welcome back to my channel, it's me. Hi, hello, with a bright lip on. Today, I'm going to be doing a ranking video of all the episodes from series 12 of Doctor Who. I guess before I do that, I'll get into my general thoughts now. Um, I was thinking about it. I feel like the negatives really stuck with me, but this was actually a good, great season. Yeah, it was honestly a great season. Like, of the 8 stories, I only, well, it sounds bad when you think about it, but 2 of them I was like, no, I don't like them. But then the other 6, there's like a jump. Like, it goes from my 7th place, I'm like, don't really like it, and then my 6th place, love it. Like, so apart from 2 stinkers, it's a solid season, and it's definitely when I maybe do a season ranking of every season. Maybe I'll do that this month. I don't know. Um, I I'm almost certain. Yeah, I am certain it will be higher than Series 11. I still don't know if this is going to be her Jodie's best season, because I think Series 13, if they do what they did with Peter Capaldi, if they take the things that worked from Series 11 and 12 and combine them, I think you'd have a god tier season. Um, so yeah, I enjoyed it. Uh, I think changing from the approach of being really fresh and new and then going the complete opposite to being so lore heavy was quite jarring, and I think it feels like they can't decide what they want to do with this era. Um, at first I thought maybe it was part of the plan, but it seems like such a turnaround. I think it was, we're going to do something bold and brand new. Saw that I think the general reception from the fans was like, eh. And I do think perhaps Series 12 was too focused on trying to please the fans that it forgot about the general audience. That is its probably biggest letdown. But, and I think actually the 7-day figures for Timeless Children just came in, and they are bad. Like, they are bad. Like, you cannot look at them and say, this is good. So, although Doctor Who is not going to go away anytime soon, because it still makes a load of money overseas, and once you put it all together, like, it still is profitable, a profitable show. But like, it Series 13 has to find a way for the ratings to go back up, because Timeless Children was a low point. But I'm not here to talk about the ratings for too much longer. I'm going to get into my ranking, and then after that we're going to have a few little awards. Number 8, Praxis. I was looking on my old tweets when the episode sort of just ended. I was like, it was good, but no, it wasn't. It wasn't good. It was very average. Actually, it was a little bit below average for me. But Praxis was the one episode I was like, I don't think my feelings on this are going to change. And they didn't. So I think it... I hate to say it because it feels so mean, but I think it's badly written. I don't get why it was co-written by Chris Chibnall. I've still, that baffles me to this day. And it was also from Pete, who did Kablam. So like, I'm not sure what went wrong here. Like, 2 of the 3 returning writers, and I'll get into the second one in a minute, 2 of the 3 returning writers from Series 11, and the reason they returned is because I think they delivered decent episodes, like good, decent episodes that will receive well with their fan base. 2 of the 3 of them failed. I was going to say they failed this season to deliver a second hit. And you know, not everything everyone writes is good, but it's just so interesting how... Okay, I'll say that in a minute. But yeah, Praxis I didn't like. I thought there's a lot of plot holes. I think characters die and no one even notices. Like, no one notices. It was boring, and it was the only episode this season where I looked at it and I was like, the budget seems to have run out. So, like, there were certain CGI bits and certain sets, I was like, these don't look like the rest of Series 12. Yeah, so that's my least favourite. On to my next least favourite, Orphan 55, and the point I was going to make before I stopped myself, because it was kind of bleeding into this one, my 2 least favourite episodes were written by returning writers, which is so surprising. I'm not sure if Ed and Pete are going to get a go in Series 13, especially with the, it's only an episode count of 10 now. So, like, returning writers, you got to be a lot more selective with which ones come back. So I'm not sure if Ed and Pete are going to get a third go, to be honest. I think it's a shame because Kablam and It Takes You Away are both good. But from Chibnall's perspective, I would look at it and go, Orphan 55, which I think is generally considered the worst, even though I don't agree with that opinion, and Praxius, which I feel like, despite me seeing a lot of people saying they liked it, I feel like it still had a really lukewarm reception in a way. Like, everyone was like, oh, we liked it. Like, I don't know, it's just weird. Orphan 55, it's not terrible. There are redeeming qualities. I just think the editing is really weird. The story is really odd when they could have just done it would have been really good based Under Siege. I think the expository dialogue is some of the worst in the series. I think it's quite cliched, and not in like a good, funny twist way. It's just a lot of cliches in it. And the message, although, coming from a good place, is just shoved into the episode in the last 10 minutes. I don't have a problem with that final speech they gave, but I think it was just with a bit of tweaking could have been alright. But to be fair, based on how badly it's edited, I'm not sure if all of that is Ed Hines' fault. Number 7, Can You Hear Me? Which seems really low, because when I reviewed it, I was like, oh, it's one of my favourites of the season. And then I thought about it, I'm like, but I like all the other episodes. Seriously, I think Can You Hear Me is great. Like, it's just, from this point onwards, they're consistently great episodes. Although in another way, they're all, let me just look at them. They're all just great until, like, the last one, if you know what I mean, like the very top one. Like, great is a really good thing to get, but 5 of the 8 episodes are at the same level of great. Like, there's one standout episode. That's the thing when you reduce the episode count to 10, you have less opportunities to give us stellar ones. I mean, season 2 is, like, got some stinkers, but it's got loads of, like, astonishing ones. So, yeah, I guess everything being great is a problem in its own. Anyway, back to the Can You Hear Me? The messaging in this is probably the best of any episode. It's one of the best of the whole revival, actually. Like, the mental health topic, I think what we get with the characters, the companions, for once feel like real people. I thought Yaz particularly really got given a lot. And it's so interesting that from Can You Hear Me onwards, I feel like I know Yaz so much better. All of her decisions seem to make more sense. And now when I go back and watch previous episodes, like Series 11, I don't know if Chris Chibnall did decide to do this, but I'm like, oh, that's why you did that. I put on Twitter, in Rosa, that bit where her and Ryan are sitting in the alley, they're sitting the same way that her and the police officer did when she ran away, and the speech she gives, it's very similar, and like it will get better. And then he asks, oh, when did you become so wise? And she has like a sort of like a, an interesting response, which kind of, now that I know the context behind her character, I'm like, oh, scared me. Yeah, I think Enzelin and Rakaya are really good villains. It's mainly the resolution is really rushed. I think the stuff in Aleppo is kind of unnecessary. Like, you feel like it's leading somewhere and it doesn't. And there is quite a lot of talking. That's my only issues with it. Next on the list, Ascension of the Cybermen and the Timeless Children. So, Ascension of the Cybermen I still think is okay. It's a little bit better than I originally watched it, but this is really saved by the Timeless Children. So the Cybermen, I don't think they were like so amazing that I saw everyone saying, but they were really good. I think Chris Chibnall is just continuing to nail all the big villains, which is actually quite a critical part of the show. So I think he's not getting enough praise for managing to do the Dalek Cybermen and the Master like justice. So props to you, especially as this episode has the Cybermen and the Master in it. Again, the Cybermen become a bit secondary in the second half of the story, which I already knew was going to happen because of the title. I was like, okay, so it's going to become a Gallifrey story, basically. Sacha Dhawan as the Master is amazing. It's just amazing. The main cast give it their all. Ryan still feels like he doesn't need to be there. But Graham and Yaz on the ship. Graham and Yaz seem to have a really good relationship. I honestly wish we just had Graham and Yaz as companions, to be honest. I think they have a really good connection that has not, like, it's kind of criminal that it's only just really been explored. I think the Demons of the Punjab and this finale are really the only times I can remember them really delving into their relationship. I thought the Cyber Masters were great. Should be called the Cyber Lords, but like, okay, I guess you won't take my great name. And I'm looking forward to seeing, such a big change in the law, having the Doctor be the Timeless Child, working Ruth into that. I'm really excited to see where they go with it. I can't wait to find out more about the Timeless Child, because they've made this decision. They can't just abandon it now, because if this ends up not having any impact on the Doctor or the rest of the series, then that means it's kind of a waste. I hope we see Ruth again. I think it'd be criminal if we didn't. I think we probably will. I don't know. I think it feels odd. Just also like the marketing, like having the Jo Martin is the Doctor title after. If that was her last appearance, it'd be weird to have it after her last appearance. I don't know. I'm hoping we see her again. I'm looking forward to seeing the Master and the Cyber Masters again, because based on the end of that episode, it does seem that at least some of them escaped with the Master. So I'm interested to see if the Cyber Masters never turn up again. I'm going to be really confused. And we get to see those cool helmets. So yeah, it was a much better finale than the Battle of Ranskor Kolos. It's not a difficult decision. Not an amazing finale. It wasn't the best of the best, but it was still really enjoyable, and I think the second half really saves the first half and makes it a great overall package. So, I can't remember these for now. Number 4, Fugitive of the Dune. I think it's probably going to be a bit controversial to put Fugitive of the Dune not that high. And I'm going to tell you, the pure reason that this episode is not as high as you might expect is because the companion Jack side plot does nothing. The companions do nothing. Jack not meeting the Doctor is really odd. That scene being weirdly blurry and dark, artificially dark. Because if you look at the behind the scenes in the trailer, those scenes were shot with like proper lighting. And then in the editing room, they're like, "Oh no, this is too bright. Let's make it darker." Damn, those editors have really just got it out for the season. Yeah, that whole bit that really doesn't need to be in there. I think I rewatched it and I was just like, oh no, we've got another Jack bit. Because it's kind of wasting time. But Ruth, amazing. The Doctor, amazing. The Jadoon, amazing. Paul Condon, feminist icon. I thought Gat was good. I thought this episode was such a good mid-season pickup. The ratings went up for this episode, which I was surprised by. Like from Nikola Tesla's Night of Terror. It's just amazing. And mild spoilers for the Christmas special. I'm going to put my hand up for mild spoilers for the Christmas special. When I put it down, it means I've finished talking about them. Jack will probably be in the Christmas... But Jack is going to be in the Christmas special. John Barron basically confirmed it. And I'm really excited to see him meet the Doctor. And I'm hoping that he's better utilised. Spoilers are over. So yeah, Fugitive of the Jadoon. Vinay Patel is now 2 for 2. So I'm hoping he gets a third shot, and I'm wondering what he'll do. Maybe he'll do a futuristic one. He's done a almost pure historical, and even the sci-fi elements in that story end up not really playing into the plot, because it sort of changed your expectations. It turns out the humans are the villains in that story. Then he had a modern day story that was very Russell T Davies, like it had the Jadoon and Captain Jack in it, but then also played into the lore. So I'm wondering what his next episode will be, because I do think he will get an episode in Series 13. So number 3, Spyfall. I'm in the minority. I prefer the second half to the first half. But it's a great opener. I think having the Bond theme for, at least, especially for the first half, it is in the second half as well, but especially in the first half, I think was really smart. They managed to keep, there were some rumours about it, but it wasn't like where they just like leaked it. There were some whisperings, but they managed to keep Sacha Dhawan being the master a secret. I think I overrule prefer the Master in Essential, the Cybermen, and the Timeless Children, but he is really good here. The reveal scene is one of the best scenes in the 13th Doctor's time on the show. Maybe it will probably always be. I think the Kasavin were really cool. I kind of wouldn't mind seeing them again because they weren't defeated; they were just sent back to their dimension. I wonder if we could see them again. I think it'd be nice to see them again. Ada and Nor were really cool. I saw a thing on International Women's Day. It wasn't like a Doctor Who thing. It was just a post being like, oh, learn more about Nor and Nayat Khan. And I'm not saying that Doctor Who inspired that post, but I'm hoping that just like when the Rosa episode went out and there seemed to be a lot of talk about Rosa Parks for like a couple of days, I think it was trending and stuff. I'm hoping that more people know about Nor. I like knowing about Ada Lovelace because it just so happens that I'm doing an English literature course and we get to know about or like all of her family. There's Lord Byron, who was her dad, who was also in another episode. Was that one of that was planned to have both of them in the season? I don't know. And also like another Lovelace who's probably related to Ada because Lovelace is quite a unique name. So yeah, I read a really good season this year for my English literature work, because in my poetry anthology I've got the Lovelaces and Lord Byron and stuff, and then I'm doing Mary Shelley's Frankenstein for my coursework. I love when the universe smiles at me. Back to what I was saying, Spyfall was really good, really great opener. I think with much better marketing, I honestly think Spyfall could have been a really cool opener, and I'm sad that it didn't get that good of ratings as I was expecting. And then number 2, there's 2 left. Which one is going to take second place? Nikola Tesla's Night of Terror. It wasn't connected to the law, so to those people who might think, you just didn't like Praxis Law 55 because they didn't connect to the law at all. No. Well, Nikola Tesla didn't connect to the law, to the story arc at all, and I think it's one of the best episodes of the season. Nikola Tesla, played by Goran Vishnik, was really great. One of the best historical characters. Again, it's not. I don't want this show to go back to Russell T Davies' era, but he's my favourite showrunner. And having these really great historical characters, having recurring species like the Jadoon, and characters like Jack, I think all those things work really well because Nikola Tesla's Night of Terror is a really well written, well directed episode. It was the first of a few episodes this season to be written and directed by a woman. I thought the Skithra were great. Anjali Mahindra it was fun to see her return in a different role. I was thinking the other day, she's really got a good list of people she's met. Tennant, Smith, and Whittaker, so she's on a roll. I don't know, it just felt like it was just fun. And although it wasn't like a super companion-centric episode, I thought, again, especially Yaz was good when it was just her and Nicola, and I liked it was subtle, like the stuff about him, the racism because he's not an American, he's not an American citizen, which is also really applicable to today. I don't know, I just think it was perfectly crafted. Not perfect overall, but I think everything that went into it was very well done. So, my favourite episode of the season, Haunting of Villa Diodati. Make it quick because it's quite obvious. The twist was great, although if they hadn't spoiled it on their social medias that the lone Cyberman would appear, then that would have been even better. The historical characters again were great. Not as amazing as Nikola Tesla, but they weren't really the focus. I liked the haunted element. I liked the ghosts. All the characters were good, even the supporting characters like the maid and the valet, I thought it was just so perfect. And the person who wrote that, Maxine, was it Maxine or Charlene that wrote? That's very confusing. I'm excited because Maxine, who wrote Haunting of Diodati, is credited as a core writer for Series 13, which we're not sure what that means. Does that mean she's going to write a lot of episodes? Does that mean she's going to be on the set Are they going to take a different approach to Series 13 with writing and do more of an American kind of... Because I remember Chris Chibnall talked about like a writer's room thing when he started showrunning, like American shows, but I haven't really seen that. So I'm not sure what core writer means, but if it means we get loads of episodes at least partially written by Maxine Alderton, then I'm good. Ashard was good in the other episodes he was in, but this was definitely his best. Visually stunning. It was visually stunning. I think it's the standout of the season. And I liked Jodie Whittaker's waistcoat. So, oh, and it was probably... Again, Jodie Whittaker was really good this season, but it was one of Jodie Whittaker's best performances. So, I'll give out some awards before I end this video. Best meme. Benny! It's going to be Benny, isn't it? Oh, the fact that Doctor Who official. Apparently in the last, like, 2-3 weeks, they suddenly remembered that they could make jokes and things, because they seem to have, like, taken the Doctor Who BBC America thing and, like, make memes, and, like, it was, like, 50 reasons to watch Doctor Who Series 12, whatever, and it had Benny as one of them. I think it was number 40. That was good. Most surprising episode was Can You Hear Me? The reason I say that is because I knew before, I didn't know what would be in Fugitive of the Dune, but like I knew that it was going to be a big episode. I didn't expect Can You Hear Me to be as good as it was, so I say that's my favourite, like, most surprising episode. Most disappointing was Orphan 55, because I was actually kind of excited for that episode before that came out. I was kind of like, oh, what it's going to be. Best performance. I feel like the best performances, I'm going to have to give a few actors spotlight. Jodie Whittaker, Jo Martin, Sacha Dhawan, and Mandip Gill and Bradley Walsh. I'm sorry, Toast, I don't think it's his fault, but at least Graham is funny. Both Graham and Ryan's story arcs finished in Series 11 and Resolution. Like, they don't need to be around anymore. But Graham's still funny and Bradley Walsh is still really giving it, and like the heartfelt moments are still really good. Whereas Ryan, I just don't see why he's there. So that those 5 were really good. I think Jo Martin was the Doctor for what, 10-15 minutes? She made an immediate impact on me. And Sacha Dhawan, I still don't know if I'm going to say he's the best Master, like, because I haven't seen much of Anthony Ainley. And even just the modern 3 Masters, I think it's hard to rank them because they're so different and they're all so good. I just love the Master as a character. But considering he's only been in 3 and a bit episodes, he's immediately like, oh, he's the Master. I'll give an award to my friend Dan, because he's very nice. Yeah, that's about it. I hope you guys enjoyed the video. I hope you guys enjoyed Series 12. If you didn't, I know it's very easy to be negative, and there are some people on Twitter I unfollow, not because you're not allowed to be negative about Series 12, but everything they tweet is just negative, and I can't see that all the time. So, you know, maybe just, if you didn't enjoy Series 12, maybe try and look forward to Series 13, or just go back and enjoy the old episodes of Doctor Who that you do watch, whether it's Tom Baker, David Tennant, Colin Baker, John Pertwee, like, any of them. Just go back and enjoy them. I think that's just what... It's just fun. You know? Go back and slog through Inferno, because that's too long. That's way too long. I have a jar full of extra gum. No. I couldn't. I can't. I mustn't. I wouldn't.